Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Today we are here my brand new F1 career mode series, and you can see on the screen here are some of the facts and information about this series to make it very different and hopefully more interesting for you guys to watch. So basically, I'm hoping to upload every single week and have a different driver each and every episode. So basically, you might be thinking, what does that mean? Well, basically, it's going to be a different YouTuber every single episode, which is going to be doing a race as Valtteri Bottas, 25% races on legend difficulty, and basically they're going to be doing that in like the quick race option. And then they'll send me the footage, I'll edit it all together and put the standings at the end, and it sort of end up being like a career mode at the end of it. And I think that having different YouTubers on every single week would mean that you guys get to see the difference in driving styles, the difference in speed, and overall hopefully it's a lot more interesting than watching me drive around just defending from the AI. So who better to start off this series than Tiametmarduk, the largest F1 YouTuber out there currently, and obviously he's Australian, so it would only make sense for him to drive the Australian Grand Prix here today. This has been recorded on PC, this one, they're not all going to be recorded on PC, just depending on what the YouTuber has on their sort of platform. So here we are, Australia. It should be a good start to the season, obviously with Ben on board. We all know he's a very fast driver and hopefully should be picking up some very valuable points here today for Williams. And at the end of this episode, we're going to be tallying all the points together, and we'll see the constructors and drivers standings at the end of this race. You can just see Ben's setup here as he's just looking through the setup, so you can all see which setup he uses for the Australian Grand Prix. And in a minute we'll go to the grid. I told everyone that they could just choose what they wanted to do in terms of qualifying, whether they wanted to start from the back, whether they wanted to qualify, or just let the game decide where they started. So I left it up to whoever was racing to decide that. So yeah, should mix it up towards the end of the season, see where Williams are standing towards the end of the championship. But it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this series. As always, if you do enjoy this series and want to leave more sort of opinions and thoughts, leave it down in the comment section. And also, if you can hit the like button on this video, that would be really appreciated, as it will help out the series grow momentum and hopefully see more and more people get involved with the series. So Ben decided to start in last place here in Australia, so he's going to fight his way through the field and hopefully get himself into a decent points finish here at the end of this race. Obviously it's going to be pretty hard to race on legend difficulty from the back of the grid, but it should be a good challenge. And the lights are out and away we go for the first round of this F1 YouTuber career mode. And down into turn 1 you can see the lot of wheel spin going up through the gears with Ben. He switches it into fast fuel mixture straight away, looks to the outside and manages to get past both Mauritius and both Caterhams. Looks like Adrian Sutil's going very slowly in the middle of the track there and slows up Ben ever so slightly as we run side by side down to the next turn here. We've got Grosjean and someone saving a bit of hers there. I think that might be Gutierrez diving down the inside there and gaining quite a few positions, but Vern seems to get the position round the outside there as Ben and Vern run side by side. Perez squeezed the inside and Kvyat now blocking the road in front of us as Kvyat and Perez go side by side. Nearly contact there as Kvyat seems to jam on the brakes, but Ben made a good start there from last place on the grid up to 10th place after a very good first couple of turns there. Now Sergio Perez in front of us here. Obviously he's got that Mercedes power plant in his car, but he doesn't seem to be any match for Ben as he looks down the inside and they run side by side. Perez looks around the outside, but he just gets forced ever so slightly wide and loses that position there. And skipping ahead to lap number 2, we are now on the pursuit of Sebastian Vettel here for 8th place and more valuable points here. We're getting into the slipstream, into rich fuel mixture once again, and then going into this next turn, we're going to brake ever so slightly later than Vettel there and managed to get the move done up into 8th place. Next on the list is his teammate Daniel Ricciardo, fellow Australian, but Ben gets very sideways on the curves there, nearly loses it, definitely loses a couple of seconds there, and Vettel's now right up behind him once again. Vettel looking to the outside but didn't manage to get that move stuck. And now Ricciardo seems to run wide ever so slightly there, and Ben looking to the outside. There's not much of a gap there, but he managed to make a gap and go around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo and apparently causing a collision, which is very strange. There doesn't look like there was actually really any contact, so that's a bit strange. But onto lap 3, DRS is enabled now. Magnussen is the next target. He's running in 6th place, which isn't too bad considering it is his first Grand Prix. Obviously he finished in 2nd in real life, but you would have expected the McLaren to be quite up there in the game. But look at that, Hulkenberg is actually in 5th place here, so Hulkenberg's having a good race, and that's the next person on Ben's list as he looks down the inside once again. Ben is actually purple through the middle sector as they run side by side once again, but manages to get round the inside and managed to move up into the top 5. So already after 3 laps we went from last place all the way up to 5th. Now Skipping ahead to lap number 5, we've got Fernando Alonso here. Obviously one of the drivers that is known as one of the best on the grid, but DRS for Alonso and DRS for Ben as they try and run side by side. I'd say the slight advantage in the Mercedes engine helped Ben there go down the inside of Alonso and move up into 4th place. Then it's Felipe Massa now, obviously a former Ferrari driver and teammate to Fernando Alonso, is the next person on our list here. But as we skip ahead towards the end of the lap here, we lose ever so slightly a bit of time through the final couple of turns here. And Alonso managed to get a really great run around that final turn, including DRS for him as well. So Ben's looking back, a little bit more defensive for Ben on the inside there, but Ben manages to get through turn 1 without having Alonso overtake him. It looks like Alonso's actually slowed up by a lot into turn 1. And now Ben's got DRS on Felipe Massa in front of him here. So looking down the inside here, late on the brakes, a bit of a dive down the inside of our teammate here. But the move actually ended up working and we go around the outside of Massa in the end there. And now we've just got those two pesky Mercedes way out in the lead of this race. If you look at the minimap, they're so far out in front. And it's going to be incredibly hard for Ben to catch them. But he decides to come into the pits lap number 6 here and go over to the prime tyres here in a second, the medium compound tyres. It looks like Hamilton in front of us has actually stopped as well. He's gone and changed onto the primes as well. It looks like a couple of other teams are out, including I think the Red Bull team there, looking for one of their drivers. I think it might be Vettel there, but we're switching over now to, as I said, the prime tyres, the medium compound tyres, the white sidewall tyres. An average pit stop there of a 3.7. Obviously there's no point in using rich mix through the pits, so putting it down to lean just saves a tiny bit of fuel. And as we go into pit stops there, you can see we switch it down to standard mix there. And we got Raikkonen, who's quite slow through turn 1 there, but we're a bit too far back and we don't have DRS, so it's not going to be possible to overtake him there. But going ahead to lap number 8 now, as we've just gone to lap number 8, obviously overtaking all the people that we'd lost places to through the pit stop cycle. And now we've got Raikkonen right in front of us, who hasn't actually pitted yet, so he's got a good position here, but he still has the pit, and that won't be good because that means he's just going to drop way down the order there. So Ben's overtaken him, and Raikkonen actually hasn't stopped, so Ben's actually a whole pit stop ahead of Kimi Raikkonen there. But look at this, a safety car on lap number 9, so what is Ben going to do here? But it's very risky, but Ben decided to come into the pit lane here and change up the tyres, because there are two options really. Do you come into the pits assuming that the AI will stop as well so you won't actually lose time? Or do you not stop and risk the AI stopping behind you and actually have better tyres towards the end of the race? So Ben probably taking the less risky option here and coming into the pit and changing over to the option tyres, which should be faster towards the end of the race. But you can see he's dropped down the order a little bit here. 9th place is going to get overtaken by Kvyat. Yes, he is. And where do we come out? The pit stops here, is it going to be 10th? No, it's 11th place. Looks like someone else has overtaken us here. And after the pit stop, we've actually ended up in 11th place here with Kobayashi right up behind us here. Not too sure how he's had such a good strategy to get him into 12th place, but yeah, Kobayashi actually has legitimately got up into 12th place there. So it's going to be a bit of a fight for these last 4 or so laps here. And we've got the safety car coming in the end of this lap. So Raikkonen's going to be the first person we want to overtake here. Kobayashi shouldn't be much of a threat and hopefully should actually just slow up the cars behind him. So really it's only about going forwards from here. So into the slipstream of Raikkonen down the home straight. The safety car is in the pit lane. Looks like Raikkonen is saving a bit of energy down this main straight here, so that he should be quite slow in a straight line when he's doing that. But we're not quite fast enough in a straight line to get past Raikkonen. But we have a great turn 1 and 2 here. Managed to get around the outside there of Raikkonen and move into the top 10 and now into the points. I think Kvyat pitted here, so that's why we moved up into 9th place here. Now Perez is the next person on our list. As we dive down the inside with the extra grip on our tyres, managed to get the late braking, but we go side by side with Perez and managed to get the move done and move now into 8th place. Now Magnussen, the next person on our list. So DRS now activated down the main straight as we go on to the final lap of the race. Ben sets the fastest lap of the race, so what can we do on this final lap? Maybe get ourselves even more points here today. Now Magnussen, we're going to have the DRS down to turn 3 here, we're running side by side. You can see Bottas, obviously Ben, has the fastest lap of the race there now, up into 7th place. Now Vettel, and then our teammate Felipe Massa. Can we possibly get past those two drivers and maybe get into the top 5 after a really crazy race? The AI seeming not to want to pit again, and their tyres at the end of this race will be absolutely destroyed, whereas Ben's will be very, very good and a lot better than theirs. But obviously the softer tyres will degrade a lot faster, so maybe towards the last couple of corners of this lap he might be a bit all over the place, especially if he's pushing like hell, which he definitely seems to be at the moment. But Vettel seems to be very close to us now. the late braking and everything has helped us out, move right behind Vettel and possibly get ourselves into 6th place in the last lap of the race. It's going to be risky to overtake him there, but we're going to brake a little bit earlier and get the momentum through the corner and run side by side with Vettel, and not a place you'd particularly assume with overtaking, but we managed to get the move done and are up into 6th place. And can we possibly get Massa and into the top 5? Wouldn't it be a crazy comeback here from Ben to go from outside the points up into the top 5? We look down the inside of Massa. Well, it doesn't quite work out there. If we were ever so slightly a bit closer there, we might have been able to get that move done, but unfortunately not. But Hamilton goes and wins the race. Rosberg ended up in 2nd here, but we get DRS up to the start-finish line, and what a race there. Lots and lots of action. It was a lot of fun. The risk in the strategy with the 2nd pit stop made it a bit more exciting than it maybe would have been otherwise, but 6th place, I'd say, was very good considering the circumstances. And there we are. There is the race results. Hamilton, Rosberg, Hülkenberg ended up in 3rd place. Then Ricciardo, Massa, Bottas, Vettel, Magnussen, Perez, and Kimi Raikkonen. That is your top 10. And yeah, that is it for the first race of the season. Hopefully the series is going to be something interesting for you guys. Hopefully it's going to be something a bit different, and hopefully that should be more interesting than just seeing me, as I said, driving around just defending from the AI. Hopefully this sort of series will bring back a bit of sort of energy into the F1 career mode series that I've been uploading. So let's have a quick look at the standings. Obviously the top 10 will be exactly the same as the race order, so you can see Hamilton ends up on 25 points, Rosberg, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo, Massa, F1 YouTubers, which is what we're going to be listed as, and then Vettel, Magnussen, Perez and Raikkonen, your top 10. And the constructor standings, Mercedes already running away with it, Red Bull in 2nd, only because they've got a sort of higher finish overall, and we're in 3rd with 18 points. Then Force India and McLaren is in 5th place. So overall guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, hopefully you enjoyed this whole series, and a massive thank you to Ben Tiametmarduk for going out his way and recording this race and being part of the series. I really do appreciate it. And of course I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description of this video, so you can go and subscribe to him if you haven't already. I assume you probably have, but if you haven't, I'll leave a link to his channel down below so you can go and check him out. And yeah, so there's the standings and everything. You can look for yourself. But as I said, thanks once again to Ben. Hopefully you enjoyed the series. Hopefully it's going to be something that can continue for a long time, and hopefully it's going to be one to remember. So yeah, thanks again for watching. I appreciate it massively, and until next time, it's been Alex about it. Goodbye.